April is National Poetry Month, and a Grammy-winning poet is in Boston tonight. Jay Ivey, who won the inaugural Grammy Award for Best Spoken Word Poetry Album, is performing, doing a show tonight at City Winery in Boston, and joins us now. Jay Ivey, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's so good to be here. What's up, Boston?
Yeah, welcome to Boston. And tell us a little bit more about what we can expect at the event tonight at City Winery.
Yeah, so tonight I'm performing music from my Grammy-winning album, The Poet Who Sat by the Door. It's a poetry concert. I'm bringing along Tari Ture, who's a Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, my brother Maurice Mo Better Brown, Grammy Award-winning trumpet player, who's also Silk Sonic's lead trumpet player, Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak. And it's a combination of poetry and music, and we have a full band. So it's an incredible experience. And I just can't wait to rock for y'all. We've been moving around the country. We have sold out shows in New York and Chicago and packed houses in Nashville and Philly, and now we're here in Boston.
Yeah, it must be fun to travel so much with it.
I love it. It's the best.
The album won the inaugural Best Spoken Word Poetry Album. You're the first poet to win a Grammy since Maya Angelou. So what does that mean to you to be in her company?
It's such a proud moment. I've been performing and writing for 30 years now. And you have heroes like Maya Angelou that you look up to, and the Last Poets, and Gil Scott-Heron, and Amiri Baraka. So to be a part of that lineage, I'm just proud to be a part of this incredible village of poets and spoken word artists. It's incredible to be a part of that family. So to represent and be able to have this moment for the poets to put more light on the art that we all share in and love. It's incredible. It's incredible.
You love the effort to bring this category back. So what do you think the Recording Academy had been missing by not having this category available to poets like yourself?
I think it's an opportunity to, again, just put more eyes and ears on this incredible art. It's poetry. It heals. It brings people together. It's a way for us to share ideas and communicate and connect. And what this does by having this category available to the poetry community, again, it'll put more eyes and ears on the art and hopefully inspire people far and wide to pick up a pen and write and journal and express themselves, because it's been so it's fun. It's fun, it's cool, but then it's also healing. Like those things that may rest on your heart and on your mind. You get to express that, and such a beautiful way to connect again. So I think it's a beautiful moment for poetry.
I know you tell the story, but you were introduced to this art form by a teacher with a fantastic name. And what was it about it that drew you to it as a kid?
Yeah, so my junior year of high school, I went to Ridge Central High Schools in the south suburbs of Chicago, and I had an English teacher named Miss Argue. And what I learned is, the only thing I learned in class was you're not going to argue with somebody named Miss Argue. So she had us write a poem for homework, and I go home and wrote what I thought was a silly little poem. I come to class the next day expecting to turn in my homework like anything else. And she made everybody read that poem in front of the class. And I was a scared kid, didn't have confidence, low self-esteem. So I rushed through, performed this poem that I wrote about the clouds. It was called It Once Was a Cloud. And then after class, she pulled me to the side and she gave me an A on the poem. And I wasn't getting any A's or B's. I'm like, oh, what's this?
That's a good feeling. Isn't it interesting?
Like, oh, wow, okay.
I always feel like young kids, especially young boys, can surprise you when you read their poetry, and it always seems so profound, and it just naturally flows out of them. So in April, since it's Poetry Month, talk about how poetry helped you the most in your life.
Oh, poetry has done so much for me. It's taken me around the world. It's introduced me to so many different people and cultures. It's helped me discover me. It's helped me find my voice. It's helped me realize what my purpose is here in this world, on this earth. So it's done so much. It's brought me so much joy. It's brought me so much, so many good times, so much healing. When I was going through hard times, like when my father passed, it was poetry that lifted me out of depression and anxiety, and it's done so much for me. That's why I wanted to pay it forward and help the poetry community in whatever way I could. So that's why, to me, again, why the category was so important, was I wanted to shine more light on this art that's saved my life and changed my life. And I mean, poetry has me in Boston right now. I wouldn't be in Boston if it wasn't for poetry. So I don't take any moment for granted. You know, I'm super, super grateful that I've been blessed with this gift. And I'm really excited about sharing it with you all tonight.
Yeah, most people were first introduced to you on Kanye West's first album, The College Dropout, and the song Never Let Me Down. What's that like for you? You recorded that song with Kanye and Jay-Z. Now it's a classic album. You know, what does it feel to be part of something like that?
Oh, it's incredible. I was 26 when I recorded it. Yeah, and then when I was 28 when the record came out. And the album's been out almost 20 years. Next year marked 20 years. And that record has traveled so far and wide. It's incredible. People over the years have sent me pictures with my words tattooed to their arms and chest. And I've gotten at least 15 pictures, 15, 20 pictures over the years. I've gone so many places in the world. One time I was in Rwanda and Kigali, and this poet, phenomenal poet, his name One Key. He's like, Jay Ivy? He was like Jay Ivy, Jay Ivy? Oh my God. He was like, I started doing poetry because of you. And I'm like, oh wow. So I'm in London a few months, well, about 6 months ago. I was in London doing a listening session for the poet who sat by the door. And there was this young lady, and she was like, oh my God. She was like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. She was like, I first heard you when I was in 5th grade, and it made me want to be a professional poet. And now here I am, a professional poet. I'm able to tell you this. And it was because of Never Let Me Down. So that poem has meant so much to so many. And it's incredible to be a part of a classic. I'm on a record with Jay-Z, and Kanye, and even Tari Ture, who's my wife and who you'll see perform tonight. She's singing on the record. John Legend is singing on the record. Oh, okay.
All right. Now I have to ask you, I know you've told the John Legend story before, but he wouldn't even have that name if it weren't for you, right? Tell that story.
Yeah, so it was actually the same night that I recorded Never Let Me Down. We were in LA, in Hollywood, at Record Plant Studios. And after recording, Kanye just kept playing Never Let Me Down. I mean, we listened to this one song for hours. But he was working on it, mixing it and getting it right. And then he was like, hey, you heard this singer named John Stevens? I was like, yeah, I've been hearing about him in New York. So he puts this record on. He's like, let me play you something. So he plays this record, incredible, soulful. It reminded me of like some Smokey Robinson or some Marvin Gaye. And then, so I'm just blown away. So an hour later, John Stevens walks in the studio. I didn't even know he was there. So I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, what's up, man? I was like, I'm Jay Ivy. I'm a poet from Chicago. I heard your music. Sound amazing, man. It sounded like that music from the old school. It sounded like that music my folks used to listen to back in the day. I was like, man, dog, you sound like one of the legends. I was like, you a legend. You a legend. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to call you from now on. So I started calling him John the Legend, John Legend, John Legend. But it's just me and him talking. So a couple days later, we're in the lounge of the studio. And mind you, like Maya's across the hall recording, Earth, Wind and Fire's down the hall recording, Janet Jackson is upstairs recording. I felt like I was in a dream. This whole, I'm doing a record with Jay-Z and Kanye. I'm like, the whole thing is a dream. So in walks John Stevens. We're in the lounge. There's like 10, 12 of us in the lounge. In walks John Stevens, who signed to Kanye as John Stevens. He has an album out as John Stevens. His whole life, he's been John Stevens. And everybody shouting him out. John Stevens in the house. John Stevens in the bill. What up, John Stevens? And I was like, John Legend. And everybody looked at me and they looked back at him. They was, oh man, that's it. That's your new name from now on. You John Legend from now on. So That's
That
how I
is
got the name.
perfect. And I will never hear him sing again without thinking of you. So,
That's cool. That's cool.
Jay Ivey performing at City Winery in Boston tonight at 7:30. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us, and happy National Poetry Month.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank y'all for having me. I cannot wait to hit that stage for you tonight. So Boston, come on out, get your tickets, and it's going to be an amazing time and experience like you've never had.
Great to meet you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Much love. Thank you.